Let's welcome in Matt Soria, assistant AD at San Diego State, and was instrumental in putting together what was a huge announcement today and something that's really cool. So, Matt, thanks for coming on. You guys are going Jordan brand. I think everybody immediately, the first thought for most will be like, well, that's cool because everyone loves Jordan brand. But then beyond that, like what are the tactical reasons for this? How will this help recruiting?
Fellas, first of all, thanks for having me. This is radio interview number one for me, so I'm excited to be here to introduce the Jordan brand to the San Diego State community. We're extremely happy to have Jordan brand, and what it means for us is, all our shoes, all our socks, our uniforms, our apparel, our travel suits, polos, pretty much everything that Aztec fans are used to. When you see the swoosh, it's going to have that iconic Jumpman logo somewhere on the apparel. So we're one of 8 teams in the country, and I'm so proud that they came out to us and reached out to us and wanted us to be a part of what they're doing.
I love it. I really do. I think it's huge. I mean, like when you think about Jordan and how he resonates amongst all sports fans, but especially basketball fans, this is a big deal. And the exclusivity, like you mentioned, only 8 teams. To me, that avails itself the opportunity for some unique things. Like, could you guys get some alternative jerseys in play? I remind you, if you haven't already thought about it, which I imagine you have, that you guys share the same color as the Bulls, the team that Jordan was made most famous by. I mean, could we see maybe some throwback Bulls-looking jerseys? I don't know. I'm just my brain's going in a million directions. Help me out here. Do you have any plans as far as the uniqueness of the look for the team moving forward?
Yeah, for sure, and that's one of the things that we kind of pitched to Jordan is that we share light colors. Obviously, we have Kawhi, who's a Jordan brand athlete, and I don't want to give away too much, but we just have some things going on. Maybe not uniforms this year. We're still talking on that, but we're talking the retro shoes that they re-release. And doing some things where it might have an Aztec logo on it, or maybe a special colorway that matches a uniform. There's a handful of things that we're discussing, and like you guys said, it's an issue, or we have the ability to do so many things, and now it's a matter of getting in a room and trying to figure out what works best for our brand and them, and they want to use us like we use them, so they want to be able to show their high school teams, their other people that they're focusing on the marketing side, that, hey, San Diego State is in our product, and look at how good they look. And it's a way for us to show off the Jordan brand.
Aztecs go Jordan brand. Matt Soria, Assistant Athletic Director, joining us on the Mark and Rich Show. Matt, you just mentioned Kawhi. How much did that association have to do with this, and how much does this help his negotiations about a renewal with the brand? Because we had heard that he wasn't necessarily in love with the first offer, and that that was taking some time.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with the negotiations, but he was definitely part of our discussions and how we can include him in some of the things we do. Jordan Brand sent us a pair of retro 10s. Those shoe aficionados know what those are. The I'm back, so they're all white with some black on top. Our players got those yesterday. I sent Kawhi a pair. He gets shoes on top of shoes, but sent him a pair as just a way of saying thank you for what he's done for us and how he represents San Diego State. So, depending on what happens with his deal, we might do more stuff. But if not, he wasn't the only reason why we're sitting here today, but he was a big reason. And like I said, we're just happy that we're doing this.
That's interesting you mentioned his deal, just because, and I don't know how much you can go into this. Part of the issue, as far as read sourced reports from the dealings with Jordan Brand and Kawhi, were over, the fact that he would like to have his own shoe. I mean, could that be something on the horizon? Could the team be outfitted in maybe Kawhi's own shoe?
I don't think anything's off the table right now. I think that, again, everyone's looking to market their athlete and their product. So I think if it makes sense for Jordan Brand, we would definitely be, happy to be rocking some Kawhi Leonard ones, whether it's next year or the year after, and market him and help him as much as he's helped us. Because the ability to mention Kawhi's name in the home, and he wasn't a 5-star McDonald's All-American, so to go in and to show kids that, hey, here's a guy just like you that could come to San Diego State and we could be wearing your shoe one day is pretty special.
Yeah.
Matt Soria joining us. Matt, what are the status of negotiations in terms of getting, I don't know, a couple pairs of kicks over to the hosts of the first radio interview that you ever did?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe those I'm backs. Look how beggars can't be choosers.
I don't know, in like a size 12 or 11 and a half. What's the status?
Well, actually, you should see my text messages and my Instagram DMs. A couple of our players overseas are already hitting me up. A couple, guys who were with us for a year, and Xavier Thames and Akil Quinn and all those guys are in line too. So I think you're right in the mix. I got to make sure I take care of my guy John Schaefer. He was the voice of our video that we
just played
night.
it. Yeah, he's like a movie trailer guy now. This John Schaefer kid.
Yeah, you sent him to Kawhi first.
Yeah.
How dare you, Matt? Oh my goodness! Matt, I have so many questions to ask you. I realize that you're tied into sponsorship rights with obviously these shoe deals and the uniforms, but also scheduling and your philosophies around that. I'm so curious, especially the recent birth of the Aztecs team and Brian Dutcher's first year as head coach. Scheduling goes into some of this moving forward now, putting yourself in the best position to grab that berth without necessarily having to run the table and get in the way they did in the Mountain West Conference Championship. So explain, what's your overall philosophy when it comes to putting together a schedule for the team?
Yeah, we try to make it as balanced as possible. We don't want to schedule a bunch of NCAA caliber teams back to back to back. We want to give ourselves a couple days going into each game. So right now I'm working on 2019. I'm finishing up obviously 18, which we'll release sometime over the summer. But just looking at 19 and figuring out, when we can play games based on football home games and a couple other things. We're in a tournament and that type of thing. And then once we kind of figure out what days we want to play, and then I'll sit with Coach Dutcher and say, okay, do you want to start out with, a bye game where we pay a team to come to San Diego and hopefully get that win and don't have to return it. And then we'll play, Gonzaga or Cal or somebody that is going to add to our tournament resume. And then we might follow it up with another bye game. And so we try to look at the schedule and try to figure out where we want these games. And then in terms of picking out who we want to play, we look at recent success, but then a little bit of it is what type of team do they have coming back next year. We played in the Missouri Valley Challenge this year, a Bradley team that was in the 300s RPI 2 years ago, but they brought everybody back, and we talked to people in our league, and they felt like they were going to be much better, and they were. So a little bit of it is trying to find teams that fit what we need, and then dates are really hard. So, this year we had one less game because we couldn't find that right team to play on a certain date, and we ended up, not wanting to go on the road somewhere and possibly take a loss or dealing with travel issues of getting back for that next home game. So we're looking at all those factors combined to try to put together a schedule that at the end of the day, if we win the games we're supposed to win, are people going to be talking about us for an NCAA tournament berth in January? And if they are, we've done our job, and now we go into the conference season, try to win a conference championship. And then like this year, if we didn't quite get there, then we go into Vegas for 3 games and try to win those. So you're pretty much giving yourself 2 opportunities to get in, one with your non-conference and then one at the end of the year with the conference tournament.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I just heard I heard it. I'm piecing this together. But so it's Villanova then to open the season at Staples. Am I hearing that correctly?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent. You heard it here first, folks.
And you know what? We're the NCAA came out with a little new way they're looking at games inside that room, that committee room, and they're valuing and putting a premium on games away from home. So 2 years ago we played a game up in Sacramento against Cal. I don't think we'll do anything this year. Maybe something, but probably looking at 19 where we go up to Sacramento again, or we go to Staples, or we go to Honda Center, or we go to Salt Lake or Portland, one of these NBA arenas, and try to play in one of those events where we can play a named team and try to build that NCAA resume. I mean, you look at this year's coming up schedule and those 3 games in Maui. I mean, we could be playing 1 and 2 seed NCAA tournaments up there with the Dukes and Gonzaga and Arizona and Xavier, Auburn. I mean, just some teams that had high seeds in this year's NCAA tournament, and maybe next year some of those teams aren't as high, but you also got Illinois and Iowa State in the mix that can make runs. So, going back to that balancing your schedule, we're going to have 3 really hard games in Maui. We got to return a game to Cal, who's going to be they beat us here, so we got a little revenge, but they're going to be much better. We got to return a game to the Missouri Valley Conference, so we're going to be traveling and going east, and maybe we can pick up a home game here that it could create some more resume building wins.
Love it, great stuff. And Matt, you're a natural on the radio, man.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate that. Mike May has taught me well. He sits me down and we talk a lot. He's the best in the business. Been here. My first year was his first year, so we've been 18 years together, and you know how good he is, and he takes care of you guys. So he's done the same with me. I got my notes here, and so I'm just excited to be on with you guys. So I appreciate you having me.
No, we're excited to have you. You nailed it. Congratulations on all things having to do with this deal and the scheduling news that's clearly forthcoming at some point. Matt, thanks so much.
Yep. No problem. I got one more thing. We got our camps over the summer, too, that I'm working on, too. So those little Aztec guys that want to be Aztec Hoopers in college, we get 10 to 18. We bring them on campus for 4 days, and we run them through the drills, and our coaches are there and former players, so it's a good time. So I got Jordan Brand, I got scheduling, and I got our camps going on. And once August hits, I'll be able to maybe vacation with my family.
There
Busy
you go.
guy.
There you go. By the way, so where can people find out more about the camps?
Camps, www.goaztecs.com/camps with an S. It's all the Aztec camps. So if you're not a basketball guy, they got baseball, women's basketball has a camp. So it's a good deal. We run a lot of kids through the campus. They get to see the campus, eat on campus. Gatorade comes out and provides fluids and a chalk talk on healthy lifestyle. So it's a good deal.
Oh, that sounds right up my alley. You guys have any celebrity fat camps for maybe some heavy set radio hosts? No?
You know what? We talked recently about maybe doing a fantasy camp. So maybe we can get you guys a part of that and come out and have some former guys coach you, and maybe Coach Fisher could come out and come out of retirement and take a team and do something like that. So if we can get that done, I'll come back on. We can talk about that too.
Perfect. Good. We're in. Thanks, Matt.
All right, guys.
Okay, beautiful. And by the way, goaztecs.com also where you can renew your season ticket. Season ticket renewals underway. Goaztecs.com.